All right, everybody, welcome back for another deep dive. You know how we do it here. We get right into the thick of things today.
Absolutely.
And today we are talking about, well, kind of a weird situation with some Microsoft Windows updates.
Indeed, some of these updates are actually going a little rogue, we could say. It seems that these March cumulative updates are uninstalling the Copilot AI assistant for some users.
Yeah, for a lot of people, Copilot is a pretty key part of their, their daily workflow, or at least they're exploring it.
Right.
And for it to just vanish after a routine update, I mean, that's got to be a bit of a shock, right?
Yeah, that's not really the kind of surprise you want, especially when you're expecting, security patches and bug fixes, and then suddenly one of your tools is gone.
Right, exactly. So specifically, we're talking about updates KB5053598 for Windows 11 and KB5053606 for Windows 10.
That is correct. And these updates were released as part of the March Patch Tuesday, their monthly security update rollout. And this was back on March 11th.
Okay, so right on schedule as usual, but then...
Yeah, right. But then shortly after that, Microsoft actually updated their support documentation acknowledging this problem.
So this is not just, a couple of people on Reddit saying, hey, this happened to me.
Exactly. It's official right from Microsoft. They're saying, yeah, we know this is happening.
So what exactly are they saying?
Their statement is, we're aware of an issue with the Microsoft Copilot app affecting some devices.
Okay.
The app is unintentionally uninstalled and unpinned from the taskbar. And they also specifically pointed out that this is a separate issue from the Microsoft 365 Copilot app.
Gotcha. So if you're rocking the Microsoft 365 Copilot, you're probably good.
You should be safe, yes.
But for the rest of us, mere mortals who are just, using the regular Windows version and suddenly Copilot's gone, these are the updates that are probably the culprit.
Right.
Now, here's where it gets a little bit interesting for me is the why.
Right.
Why is this happening? Why are these updates specifically causing this uninstallation?
Yes, and that's what we don't really know yet. Microsoft acknowledged that it's a problem, but they haven't really gone into the details of what's actually causing it.
Right. So we know it's happening, but we don't know why.
Yeah, exactly. And adding to that a little bit, it's also not listed on the Windows Release Health Dashboard, which is usually where Microsoft puts information about, ongoing issues and problems.
Yeah, that's kind of the go-to spot, right?
Exactly. So it's a little bit strange that it's not there yet.
Yeah. Makes you wonder, are they still trying to figure out exactly what's going on?
Yeah, it could be they're still investigating it,
Yeah.
or maybe they're just, gathering more information before they put something official out there.
Right. Or maybe they're already working on a fix.
Yeah.
They just want to wait until they have a solution before they say anything.
Exactly.
So while we wait for those answers, what are people supposed to do in the meantime? I mean, if your Copilot's just gone, is that it? Are you just stuck without it?
Well, thankfully, there is a workaround. Microsoft is advising people to just reinstall the Copilot app from the Microsoft Store and then repin it to their taskbar.
So just manually put it back where it belongs?
Pretty much, yeah. It's a little bit of a hassle, but it's not, a super complicated fix.
Right. I could already imagine the comment section on some of these articles.
Yeah.
Some people are probably like, oh, great, I finally got rid of Copilot. I'm not putting it back.
Yeah.
And some people are probably furious.
Yeah, exactly. You're going to have the people who really rely on Copilot and are frustrated that it's gone. And then you have the other side that's maybe not so keen on having an AI assistant in the first place.
Right. I saw a comment somewhere that was like, a mistake in everyone's favor.
Yeah.
Like they were happy that it was gone.
Right. It just goes to show that not everyone is on board with every new feature.
Exactly. And this isn't the first time we've seen, kind of a weird situation with Copilot integration.
That's true. If you remember back in June of last year, there was actually a similar incident, but kind of in reverse.
Yeah.
A Copilot app was accidentally added to systems because of a bug in some Microsoft Edge updates from April.
I do remember that it just kind of appeared out of nowhere.
Exactly. People were surprised to suddenly have this new app on their computer.
So what was the deal with that one? What did Microsoft say about it?
Well, back then, Microsoft said that the app that was accidentally installed wasn't actually collecting any user data.
Okay.
It was more like a placeholder to get devices ready for Copilot in the future.
So it was just kind of sitting there waiting?
Pretty much, yeah.
But still, it was kind of an unexpected change, right?
Right. It shows that even then, the rollout of Copilot wasn't exactly smooth sailing.
Yeah, and speaking of not smooth sailing, wasn't there also something with Windows Server previews?
Oh, that's right. Microsoft actually tried adding Copilot to some early preview builds of Windows Server 2025.
Okay.
But it didn't really go over well with Windows administrators. They got a lot of negative feedback.
So they pulled the plug?
Yep, they ended up removing Copilot from those server preview builds.
I guess it just goes to show that, what works for a regular Windows user might not work for someone managing a server.
Exactly. Different environments, different needs.
Right. So we've seen it accidentally removed and intentionally removed.
Right.
It's like Copilot can't quite find its place in the Windows world.
Yeah, it's definitely been an interesting journey for Copilot so far.
Definitely. Now, even with all this uninstalling business, there have still been some, positive developments with Copilot itself. Just to give us a little bit more context,
Absolutely.
what's new on that front?
Well, just recently, Microsoft announced a brand new Copilot app that's being rolled out to Windows insiders through the Microsoft Store.
Okay,
So it looks like they're moving towards making Copilot a more standalone application.
that makes sense.
Yeah.
I guess that gives them more flexibility to update it and add features without having to wait for these big Windows updates.
Exactly. And speaking of new features, they've also added a new press to talk feature for voice interaction.
Oh, yeah, I heard about that. How does that work?
It's pretty simple. You just hold down Alt and Spacebar for a couple of seconds, and that activates voice input for Copilot.
So you can just talk to it.
Yep. It's another step towards making Copilot more accessible and integrated into the Windows experience.
So on the one hand, you've got these new features and this dedicated app coming out, which shows that they're still investing in Copilot.
Right.
But then on the other hand, you have this bug that's uninstalling it for people.
It's definitely a bit of a mixed bag.
Yeah, it's like they're trying to push it forward, but they're also tripping over their own feet a little bit.
It highlights the challenges of integrating a new technology like AI into an already complex system like Windows.
Definitely. And, when you're dealing with these kinds of software updates and new features,
Yeah.
it makes you realize how important it is to have a solid backup and recovery solution in place.
Absolutely. That's where a company like Stonefly comes in. They're a leader in enterprise storage backup and disaster recovery, AI storage, and cloud solutions.
Perfect timing. We needed a break anyway.
Yeah, exactly. And they offer some really robust solutions, including air-gapped and immutable storage options, which are key for protecting against threats like ransomware.
So if you're worried about your data being compromised or lost, Stonefly has got you covered.
Absolutely.
You can contact them at sales@stonefly.com to schedule a demo and see what they can do for you.
All right, so back to Copilot. The main takeaway here is that if you've recently updated your Windows and Copilot's gone missing, you're not alone.
This is not just you having a bad day.
Exactly. It's a known issue that Microsoft is aware of, and hopefully they'll have a permanent fix soon.
Right. And in the meantime, you can just reinstall the app from the Microsoft Store.
Mm-hmm.
It's a bit of a pain, but it's the best solution for now.
It is.
And, it's interesting to see the different reactions to this whole thing.
Oh, absolutely.
Some people were scrambling to get Copilot back, and other people are happy to see it go.
Right. It really shows how personal our relationship with technology is.
Yeah. And it raises some questions about the role of AI in our operating systems. How much integration is too much.
All right. Are we ready for this level of AI in our everyday computing?
Exactly. These are things that we're all going to have to figure out as we move forward.
And as we do that, it's more important than ever to make sure our data is protected. And that's where Stonefly comes in again with their enterprise-grade storage backup and disaster recovery solutions.
They're like the guardian angels of our data.
You could say that. And if you want to learn more about how they can help you safeguard your valuable data assets, be sure to reach out to them at sales@stonefly.com for a demo.
So to wrap things up with this Copilot saga, it really makes you think, we're seeing this increasing integration of AI into everything.
Right.
And this little incident with the disappearing Copilot just shows that it's not always going to be a smooth ride.
Yeah, definitely. There are going to be bumps along the way as we figure out how to make all this new technology work seamlessly.
Right. And it makes you wonder what other challenges we're going to face as AI becomes even more integrated into our lives.
It's a really interesting question to ponder.
It is. So for all of you out there who are on the cutting edge of technology, keep those brains engaged. Keep asking those questions.
Absolutely.
And as always, stay informed and stay curious. Thanks for joining us for this deep dive. We'll catch you next time.
See you, man.
Bye.